Jewish Channel's Week in Review. Spinning a record, honeymooning in Vegas, and more of the Jewish news that's changing our world right now in this episode of the Week in Review. Hello, and welcome to the Jewish Channel's Week in Review. I'm Stephen I. Weiss. In a week shortened by Christmas, we hope you had a happy Hanukkah. One group that had a particularly happy Hanukkah set the world record for simultaneous dreidel spinning, 754 dreidels at one time in the Sarona market in Tel Aviv. Among those spinning was prominent Israeli politician Tzipi Livni, who is hoping to set the polls spinning in her favor as well. But a different kind of spinning top, the one that caps soda bottles, is soon to be produced in abundance in Gaza. The Coca-Cola company will be opening a bottling plant in Gaza in 2015, and machinery for the plant has already been imported through an Israeli border crossing. The plant will employ hundreds of Palestinians. Pepsi already has a bottling plant in Gaza. But while that business partnership has yet to enter its honeymoon phase, a famous honeymooning film is set to come to Broadway. Meredith Gansman covers that in a segment that will air in TJC's theater show, Row J.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That is unless you take a hilarious movie and adapt it for a Broadway musical.
When you say Vegas, you're saying love.
In Honeymoon in Vegas, the main character Jack Singer's Jewish mother has a dying wish.
Jack, if I go, I want you to make me a promise that you'll always love me.
Of course, Mom.
And you'll never get married.
You heard right. Singer swears he'll stay single. Andrew Bergman wrote the scripts for both the movie and the musical.
The show about love and loss and neurosis. And Jewish mothers and scaring their sons for whatever reason.
Singer's love for his girlfriend Betsy leads him to break that promise, and the two head to Vegas to get hitched. But Tommy Corman, a local gambler looking for love, has other plans for the couple. Tony-nominated actor Rob McClure, who plays Jack Singer, says it was the humor that first attracted him to the project.
The script was one of the first in a very long time that made me laugh out loud alone in my living room. Andrew Bergman knows funny.
The comedy is also exciting to Tony Award-winning music writer Jason Robert Brown.
I love this show so much, and you watch an audience laugh at this show and tap their toes and sing along and stand up and cheer and have the time of their lives, and I want to be the guy who wrote that show.
And this show's cast is funny on stage and off.
You know who else knows funny?
Hello.
Tony Danza.
I love him.
I want to put him.
I love him.
I'm dwelling.
I love this man. See what he did?
I'm verklempt.
Running around like a Vildachaya.
Oh, I know that, right?
That's how do you know
I
that?
work with Judith Light.
Screen and stage star Tony Danza plays Corman.
Tommy Corman. He's sort of a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
It's not the first time Danza's career brought him to Vegas.
I lived there for 6 months. I lived at the Paris Hotel. You've heard of Eloise at the Plaza? This is Tony at the Paris. And 6 months, it was the craziest thing to live in Vegas, but doing the show was fun.
For more on Honeymoon in Vegas, tune in to the full broadcast version of the Week in Review.
Thank you, Meredith. Finally, this week on Up Close, we're looking at two different views of aging. In aggregate, being elderly leads to a far greater sense of well-being. How and why that is explored by clinical psychologist Mindy Greenstein, co-author of Lighter As We Go, Virtues, Character Strengths, and Aging. But aging can carry with it great challenges, and the challenge of Alzheimer's disease is one many families face. The particularly difficult story of former broadcast journalist Meryl Comer in caring for her husband is explored in Slow Dancing with a Stranger, Lost and Found in the Age of Alzheimer's. Here are some of the highlights of my interview with Mindy Greenstein. You're 51.
Correct.
And everything's up from here as far as you're concerned, that where a lot of people would view going from 51 onward as a process of perhaps decay or losing out on what life has to offer. It turns out that, according to studies, life has a lot more to offer you in the years ahead.
That's correct. In fact, I'm sort of looking at it from the glass half empty. I'm at the bottom of the well-being curve. Well-being through life goes along time in the form of a U. And start out kind of high, satisfied with life, and it starts dipping and dipping and hits kind of a trough. I'm the trough. So so there's nowhere to go but up, and in fact it just keeps going up and up through older age, so that my co-author, Dr. Jimmy Holland, who's 86, she's actually higher on the well-being scale than her 22-year-old granddaughter is.
Why are old people so happy?
Well, I think it's a few things, and this philosopher William May, I thought, described it really well. He called it traveling light, learning to travel light. Life can get really kind of heavy, especially in the sandwich years. You got your kids, you got your parents, you got your career, you got your social responsibilities. And on top of all that, you got your fears of the future, because you dread the notion of getting older. You look ahead and see 70 and think, ugh. But in fact, if you knew a little bit about the U-bend studies, you might look at 70 and say, So I think one of the things that happens over time is you get lighter. You care less what people say. You're less afraid of who you are and what you want. You know who you are and what you want better. You've survived a lot of crap along the way, and you've learned coping skills.
One of the things that's surprising about the shape of that U-bend, about the idea that you get as unhappy as you'll likely get in your early 50s, is that in our society overall, according to some other standards of or ideas of well-being, those should be the best years.
And it's interesting because historically they used to be that way. I mean, Aristotle described the middle stage as the best stage, and for many years it was considered the best stage of life. A few things changed. For one thing, our youth-obsessed culture started going even younger in terms of what they valued as youth. But the other thing is that we have a lot on our shoulders. And also, I mean, one of the things that happens is that we have a lot more stressors that we're navigating, but we also take pride in our ability to navigate them. And I think one of the reasons for the upswing in life may in fact be all that we take on.
You can see the full episode of Up Close on the Jewish Channel on cable. You can also listen to the full audio of Up Close as a podcast available on iTunes or in your favorite podcast player. That's all for this week. From all of us here at the Jewish Channel, be well. The Jewish Channel is available on cable, Time Warner Cable Channel 1640, IOPLING Channel 505, RCN Channel 268, Cox Cable Channel 1, Bright House Channel 330, Verizon Fios Channel 900, and on Comcast on the on-demand menu on premium channels. For more information, visit tjctv.com.